I want my kids to experience all the wonderful things our beautiful world has to offer. So when I heard they could learn about the butterfly life cycle up close and at home, I knew I had to check out Insect Lure's Butterfly Garden. This all-in-one kit lets your child hold the wonder of metamorphosis in the palm of their hand. Watch your butterflies grow, then let them go. Head to insectlore.com to try this unforgettable experience. That's insect, I-N-S-E-C-T, lore, L-O-R-E.com. Insectlore.com.
When you stay at a Verbo, you always get the whole home. Not part of it, but the whole upstairs, the whole downstairs, the whole fridge, the whole backyard, and the whole nap room. Because is it really a vacation home if you have to share it with a host? Only whole vacation homes, always all yours. Book on the Verbo app.
Hello and welcome back to the Shamrock Sportscast. I am Sam.
My name is Evan Cummings.
And I'm Adrian. Surprise.
Special guest Adrian Wolf will be here today to talk some sports with us. It's going to be a fun day. We have a fun, unique little idea for you guys. But Evan, how has your week been?
It's been pretty good. I've been with the baseball team a lot. I also did some softball in the last week. Both teams which have been pretty successful. One of them more successful than the others. But I'm just ready to have another great podcast, Sam.
So it's been a tough week for the baseball team.
It has.
And you've been with them every step of the way.
Yes, I have.
Can you kind of fill us in on what the pulse is like for the team right now?
So we are currently on a 3-game losing streak. I know that's something that no one wants to hear, but since we last podcasted, we actually won 2 games in a row. We beat Cathedral at home 6-5, which was a very impressive win. It was something that it was a resume builder for sure. We followed that with the first game of the Brownsburg series was a win 7-0 at Brownsburg. I know Ty Anderson pitched a gem in that one. And then Friday, we had a little bit of a weird pitching situation where we started Colin Lindsay in the first inning, and then Preston Tam came in. Or was it Preston? I think it was. It was either Preston or Nana. Regardless, it was a good game pitching wise, but we could not get the offense going. And you'll kind of start to see that trend in these next couple of games that we're about to talk about. We lost that game 2-1. Monday against Carmel, arguably our worst game of the season, definitely our worst game of the season by far. The pitching wasn't there, the offense wasn't there. We just did not play good at all. And we lost 19-2, and that's all I really want to say about that. And then yesterday, Wednesday's game, the first game of the Fisher series, we lost 10-0 in a run rule. Jack Brown was just a little too much for us on the mound and at the plate. He had his first debut was a home run, and then he kind of never looked back. I believe he went 3 for 3 on the day. So that was just a really frustrating loss. And tonight we play the second game of the Fisher series. The series as a whole got moved up one day because of we are doomed tomorrow for weather. I don't think any outdoor sporting events are going to be played. And then Saturday we play home at Newcastle. It says away on MaxPress, but it's home.
Okay. Well, that'll be a good opportunity for the boys to sort of right the ship. Obviously, it's never fun playing against the best competition. It's never fun. Obviously, you have to do it, and, that's how you gauge yourself against the best teams in the state. But, with the emergence of Carmel this year, and think about it, too. Last year, we put an absolute beatdown on the Greyhounds, and you have to at least think that motivation may have helped Carmel, want to give it right back to us this year.
I talked to Evan,
was the case.
Yeah, I talked to Evan Russ this year. After the game, he was like, "I don't know why everyone's surprised. This happens every year. It just flip flops every year because obviously this year we lost 19-2. Last year we won 19-1, and I believe our sophomore year we got blown out by Carmel. So that's a trend that I don't necessarily like. I don't think anyone really likes that a whole lot, but." It's just something that happens between two very bitter rivals.
So how about softball?
Softball. Oh, let me check. I'm not prepared this morning, guys. I apologize. Also, shout out Aiden. I don't know why he's just not here this morning.
Got a text at 1:19 a.m. that Aiden would not be here today, which is good. We endorse it wherever he is at. But yeah. Like I said, we have a fun little idea planned in a little bit. But while you look at softball, I'll talk a little bit about golf.
Yes.
Yeah, so back to last week. Played HSC. Everyone played pretty solid. It was a little shaky down the stretch. Ended up getting beat by one with a 301. We shot a 301, which is a very respectable score. But HSC comes firing in with a 300. Yeah. Lose by one. Tough loss. Like I said, boys still played pretty well. Medalist was Jake Caesar with a 72.
He's the future, folks.
Jake is good. I'll tell you that. And you're gonna start to see that trend continue as I fill in the rest of the weekend. Played Saturday up at Warsaw, the Don Dicken Invitational, one of our favorite events of the year.
Yes.
We've won it 8 years in a row, and the boys came out firing. We sent out 2 teams. We sent out our 1 through 5, and then our 11 through 15. 1 through 5 shot a whopping 282, which is 2 under par, 2 off the school record in our first invitational of the year. Played really well. Jake with a 68, 4 under, or I think it was 3 under actually.
Par 71.
Par 71. And it was just a great performance from the boys. Also, our 6 through 10 boys went down to Hickory Stick for the Trojan Classic, I think, for Center Grove, and fired 298, which was under 300 too. And like I said, these were our 6 through 10 guys. Not many 1 through 5s can break 300 in this state, but our 6 through 10 are doing the same thing. And that was a lineup that consisted of 3 freshmen. Ryan Caesar, who's the third of the Caesar boys. Hudson Kuchima, shout out Hudson, and then Mitchell Keene, 3 freshmen to go along with that. So that's very impressive. And boys continued their momentum with a win over Guerin and Carmel on Tuesday at Bridgewater. Jake, once again the medalist with a 71, played really well. Some other shout out, Gabe Nixon played the 6 for us that day, fired a 73.
Wow.
With a tripled hole 8, but was able to birdie enough holes to get back to just 1 over for the round. Like I said, big win, 292 for us, so very solid. but came out last night, played Guerin again, and didn't play as well. Shot I think it was 158, and our low score was a 39. So it was just not a great performance for us. But that's okay because we get to rebound right back and go up to Sandy Pines, which is where we won our regionals last year, and compete for a title there. So should be fun. Saturday will be a fun day. Also got a JV invite at Elwood Country Club. The Rocks sending 4 teams to that one. So should be a great weekend.
Absolutely. Diving into softball now. Since we've last seen you guys, it has not been pretty for the Rocks softball team. We went 1-4 in our last 5. The Wednesday that we did podcast, we lost to Greenfield Central at home 19-12. That was just a barn burner of a lot of offense and not a whole lot of pitching. And then the tournament in, I believe it was Kankakee Valley is where it was hosted, or maybe Lake Central. We went 1-2 on the day, with our first win coming in the earlier game, a 4-3 win over Kankakee Valley. We played at 10:30 that morning against Mishawaka, and we lost 11-8. And then the time on here says 3 p.m. for the Lake Central game, but I'm pretty sure it was closer to 4 or 5 because of weather. It was 12. It was a 12-1 loss. So obviously not the pitching that we're looking for. And then Tuesday we lost away at Fishers 2-0. So I feel like a common trend that we're seeing with the softball and baseball teams is the offense is slowly deteriorating and the pitching isn't getting any better. So if both of these teams want to make sectional runs, then they got to step it up majorly. They got to play like a team. That is crucial. In the words of baseball coach Ryan Bonnell, playing like a team is way more important than playing for yourselves. And it's just, don't play selfish baseball. Don't play selfish softball. You got to be in it, for a state championship. You got to play for each other.
Back to some news with boys and girls track. The distance kids had a big match. It's called the Flashes Showcase Miracle Mile, which is one of the most highly acclaimed matches of the year on their schedule. Ton of teams go, and it's one of the most fan-supported, recruited events that you'll see. Rocks with a pretty solid performance. Let's go to some highlights here. In the mile race, we had Colin Lacomic finishing first for Westfield. He finished 37th overall with a 4:24 mile. Obviously, That's very solid.
Yes.
And just behind him in, let's see here, in the 4x8, the Rocks finished 9th place with an 8:22, which is once again very, very solid.
Yes.
2-mile cumulative race. The girls also performed pretty well. For the team 4x8, they finished in 13th with a 10:30. Pretty solid. Like I said, there was a ton of teams at this event. So, and then some highlights from the 1-mile race. We had, one sec, it is loading. We had Liz Smith with a 5:29, finishing in 60th place. Pretty solid. With Emily Loisel, the freshman, or the sophomore, just behind her with a 5:32. So obviously this, these programs continue to carry off their success that they had in cross country, and we're seeing that in track so far this year.
Absolutely. When was the last time we talked about boys volleyball?
Last week.
Last week? All right. Because we are currently riding a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game win streak, and we have not dropped a set in 7 games.
That's this team is dominant, dude.
They are so dominant. Our last loss was to Fishers on March 27th. We are coming up on a month without losing, and it doesn't look like we're going to lose that anytime soon. We have an away game at Park Tudor tonight. And then next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we have games against Avon, Perry Meridian, and Chittard. That is home, away, and home. So we're looking very strong coming into the later parts of the year. A tournament ends out the year for the boys volleyball team against Roncalli, Cathedral, and HSE. We beat Cathedral. We did not beat HSE, and I don't think we've played Roncalli yet. No, we have not. So that is going to be very interesting coming into sectionals where you got to play your best ball. Yeah. But this team, 12-2, have only dropped 8 sets all year, and they've won 38. That is, if you look up dominance in the dictionary, you see Westfield boys volleyball, and that cannot be more true. I'm very excited to watch this team progress more than they already have, going into the postseason.
Yeah, and keeping it on track, but for the sprinters, we had a pretty good week at the Sprinter Showcase up at Lafayette Jefferson High School this past weekend. Shout out Dylan Walker with 2 really solid performances. He finished 8th in the men's 400 meter with a time of 50.88, which is something that I don't think either of us could do or even come remotely close to doing. He also ran in the 100 and finished in 18th. Also, Cade Parker, I think he's a first-year track runner. This kid has speed. He is like Lightning McQueen of the Westfield High School.
Ka-chow.
He has speed. Ka-chow, baby. But he finished in the top 20 of his 200-meter race. So ton of potential with him, and he's going to continue to get better as he starts to fill out his frame a little bit more. But that kid is very, very fast. On the women's side, let's see here. We had Lucy Hauser in the 100-meter hurdles, first place, with a PR of 15.5. That's pretty ridiculous.
That is.
And Lucy Hauser has continued to dominate at the high school rank. Obviously, we've seen her do this for her entirety of her career with this track program. And looks like that's not letting up. That's a personal record is pretty awesome.
She takes after her brothers.
Absolutely. She also finished with another PR in the women's 400 meter with 1 minute and 0.21 seconds. That's hard to say.
It is.
Finishing 11th, which is obviously incredible. So she continues to dominate her ranks. Toby Fapetu of the women's team in the 200 meter finished 6th with a 26.22. Pretty grubby right there.
Yes.
As well as Princess Campbell winning the women's varsity 100 meter race with a 12.22. Pretty awesome. Great showing from the women's sprint team as well as the male this past weekend.
Absolutely. Now, are you gonna introduce this new segment that we have, or I guess it's a recurring segment, just in a different time of year?
Yeah. So this is something we've sort of done in the past, but essentially, the two of us here are going to draft teams in the spring sports category based on how likely we think that they can win their respective state championship.
Yeah.
For instance, football team was very solid this year. They could have been, the first pick in that draft. Mm-hmm. Here, we're going to do it with the spring sports. And, this is something that it's fun to do and it's exciting to talk about because, obviously we're still very early in a lot of these seasons, but at the more macro level, just sort of, putting these teams and comparing them to their respective competition in each sport and engaging where they're at and how they can use that to advance far in the state's tournament this year.
Yeah. All right. Adrian will decide who goes first. By just like a coin flip, or you can just think of a number and whoever's closer.
All right. Thinking of a number between 1 and 5.
Okay.
5.
4.
It was 3.
Evan.
That usually works.
Some game theory here. You never take the end number.
Hey,
especially if you're first.
I was trying to risk it all.
Yeah, I respect it.
All right. Who are you taking?
So I'll take first and fourth.
Okay.
Okay. And my role with this team makes this pretty clear and pretty easy for me to do. But I'll take the Westfield golf team first
Solid
overall.
pick.
Currently ranked number 1 in the state. We were preseason number 1, and I think what puts this team over the edge for me is the fact that there's so many guys on this roster that just work their tail off. And when there's that many people who are so bought into the program and bought into every little thing that they're trying to do to win, it makes things a heck of a lot more easy. And, to be honest, like, I'm not really too this team has never had the amount of talent that it has had during my tenure at Westfield. And I would be hard pressed to think that they've ever had this much talent collectively on their team. Obviously, Alex Caesar is a stud. He's going to Ball State. Jake Caesar, arguably better. Those, they're very interchangeable brothers, always going head to head. Will Harvey is a stud. I mean, those are three guys that are probably in the top 12 to 15 of all golfers in the state of Indiana right now, and they're playing our top three. Plus, look at Cam Coy, who has consistently played at that position and been so solid, as well as, just some other solid pieces like Matthew Scholl, Ryan Caesar, Jack Harris, plenty of other guys. This team is so loaded, so deep, and I think that they're poised for a state championship run.
With my number one overall pick, I'm going to do, I would say, if golf was one, this team is no doubt number two. I'm going to go with the aforementioned boys volleyball team. 12-2 on the year. Brody McAfee leading the charge with 117 kills through 14 games. That is absolutely crazy. They were preseason favorites. If you ask anyone around Hamilton County, you would say Fishers is up there, HSC, but most of them would have said Westfield. We returned so many amazing hitters, and our setter, Will Byers. And he has some kills. I believe he's in the 20s in kills. So just that is one team that I am confident they will go far. I cannot wait to be with them for their sectional, regional, state run, because the trip to Worthen starts in a little over 2 weeks. So they were playing their best ball now, which is exactly what they needed to. Their 2 losses came earlier in the season. Obviously, 2 losses out of 14 games is not terrible, but they're both the conference opponents, HCC opponents, Hamilton Southeastern and Fishers. At least they got a set on them. But if they're not losing, 3-1, they're winning 3-0. Just going through their games, their first 3 games of the year were 3-0 wins. The loss to HSE, 3-2 win over Brebeuf, New Pal 3-0. Fishers lost 3-1, and ever since then, we have not dropped a set. So you talk about dominance in a team. You talk about just no mercy. Don't let your foot off the gas. It is the boys volleyball team, and that's a mindset that I believe that they will carry into the sectionals in the state tournament. So with my number 1 overall pick, the number 2 overall, give me the boys volleyball team.
And, I think there's 2 teams that have definitely emerged as the top 2 pretty distinctly. So good on us for picking those 2. And that's not to say, like, I think there's plenty of value going forward with the rest of this draft. But those 2 were pretty distinctly some of the most dominant in their sports.
With my second and final pick, I'm going to go with the team that I don't think gets enough attention or enough love. I'm going to go with the girls tennis team. Now, last year, they were not the greatest. I believe they were, most of the varsity guys, or girls, I should say, were first round exits in sectionals, because we did play Carmel. But Isabella Norris made it far, and then she promptly did not come back to the team this year because I don't want to say she's too good for the team, but her USTA ranking is so high that it would pale in comparison to anyone on the girls or guys team of all time. So that was a big loss, but we still handled that pretty well. We played very well in match play against conference opponents so far this year. The season is young, but top to bottom, varsity to JV, we are very, very good. Granted that, you don't see a whole lot of JV action, but the varsity team is very, very good. And so they are my number 2 pick for the team that I think could win state in the spring sports.
I like it. that's very solid, and they've continued to perform this year, and it's exciting to watch. I'll stay in the girls realm. We're gonna go with the Westfield girls lacrosse team.
Really?
Yeah. Now,
that surprises me.
That's bold.
and here's why. This team and most of these players have the championship pedigree. Last year they advanced to the state title, got beat, and it's easy to argue like some teams can sort of struggle coming off of that, and we've seen that at times for this team. But I think just having that in their back pocket, knowing that there's so many people that have already been in the arena and already been to the highest level of a championship game, I think that's going to serve them well, especially as they get into crunch time of the season. We have Lauren Dean, who's an absolute stud. Molly O'Brien continues to be so solid, and this team is very well rounded, and there's so many girls on this team that can help them get to that top level, and it's going to be exciting to watch them down the stretch. And like I said, when you get to a place like that, get to the state championship, that's sort of the expectation going forward. And so I'm excited to see the potential of this team, and obviously like right now may not feel like that, but I think that as we sort of progress through the season and continue to get farther on, then they're going to be in good shape, just because they've already walked that walk. They've already talked that talk. So
They just got to do it again.
Exactly.
Adrian, any thoughts?
I agree. I mean, they've had a pretty good year this year too, just from looking at some of the stats on Max Preps. I don't know much about girls lacrosse, but yeah.
That's fair enough.
Love it.
Any last words, Meph?
I don't think so. Any professional sports you want to dive into real quick?
Shout out Jalen Hurts. Made a bag this week.
Indeed.
Made a bag.
Woo.
Oh my goodness.
What was the final number on that?
It was $255 over 5 years. So he's getting paid $50 million a year. Grizzlies took game 2 last night, 103-93. Braves, best team in the MLB.
Wow. So we have a kind of an early 2-horse race in the MLB, the Rays and the Braves.
Yes.
Obviously, you're a Braves fan, so you're a little bit impartial to that. But
Just a little bit.
do you think you guys are distinctly the best team in the league?
Top to bottom, if you look at our lineup, yes. I don't know how we've lost 5 games. I believe 3 of our losses are to the Padres, which is beyond me. But
like, we know what the Padres are capable of.
yes, they have a great lineup. They just have not executed very well so far this year. Their record does not define them. 9-11. It does not, like, that record does not define them at all. It's early. And I'm a little scared that the Braves are kind of using their best stuff now. I would rather them save that for later on in the year. But we're 8-2 in our last 10. We have a plus 32 run differential. We are way better away than at home. Granted, we've only played 7 home games. We played 12 away games, but I digress. And the Rays, I don't know. I just figured they had a really hot start to the year. I'm not sure their lineup is all that, but you can't really say much except there's some really good baseball going on right now. Shohei Ohtani hit a home run last night. He also got robbed of a home run by Aaron Judge, who then hit a home run like in his next at bat. The final of that game was 3-2 in the Yankees' favor. You love games like that where it's low scoring, but you have some really good offensive highlights, and it's a barn burner between the 2 starting pitchers and their bullpens. MLB is going to be really interesting this year. Some new rule changes have come out that were really controversial at first, but I think helped the game. Also, my last little thing on the MLB, Max Scherzer, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? You cannot have sticky stuff, even though he swears it was sweat and rosin. I don't buy that, Max. I don't buy that.
We're stretching it a little bit.
We're stretching a little bit. All right, you got pulled after the 4th inning, which those checks happen between innings, like every inning. I don't know how the umps missed it the first 3 innings, but it's just sort of beyond me.
No place for that.
Mm-mm.
No place for that. Yeah, back to the Rays, you know, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys who have over 40 at bats, batting 300 or better.
That's crazy.
It's pretty
They
ridiculous.
still 14-3.
16 and 3.
16-3 now.
Yeah.
Great.
So they were 12-0 and then had a rough series last
They
week
did.
with Toronto, but right back.
They went 1-2 in that series, I believe.
Are you a Reds fan at all?
I follow them a little bit. They're, I think, the closest team besides maybe the Cubs.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're yikes.
They punked the Rays. 8-1
They did.
earlier this week.
But overall, they're not all that.
Yeah.
I believe Jacob Culp's a Reds fan. I don't want to give him a hard time. He had a hard enough time as it is last night.
Oh boy.
Against that Fishers lineup.
Yeah. That was a tough week for Westfield baseball. But kind of going back to that, like, you know, I think it's good to have that adversity. We talked about this with the basketball team. We talked about this with the football team. But when you go through that adversity in the middle of the season, you learn about the capacity of your leaders. And this team has a lot of leaders in that locker room. And I have full confidence that they're going to be able to pull the guys off the mat and continue to rally the ship and have a great season. Because, like, think about it. Carmel gets punked by us last year, and you could more or less say that they were able to, you know, sort of rally back as the season progressed. But and I think that Westfield's capable of doing the same thing, especially with the talent that we have.
Exactly, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. I'm still looking at the standings. I don't know how the Diamondbacks are leading the NL West with a negative run differential, no less. They're on a 6-4 tear in their last 10. The Dodgers, bro.
Dodgers are playing good, aren't they?
They're playing better. Yeah, they were terrible to start the season. They're still 9-10. I know that's Rowan Elbert's team. Rowan,
Sorry to diss on you, man.
what you doing, bro?
Yo,
Like, LB. I believe you had an uncle. It was either an uncle or a cousin that played on the Dodgers, so that's why he's a fan.
I thought that was race car. That's you.
That's me.
That is
I have
you.
a cousin that races in NASCAR. Yes.
All right.
He actually, sorry to brag here, he had 2 top 5s in his last 2 races. So I'm just saying, out of 40 cars,
Who is it again?
That's pretty good. Chase Briscoe. You can look him up.
Dang.
Yeah.
No way.
Mm-hmm. So I actually didn't know this. Some weird facts.
You guys boys? You and Chase, or more or less?
More or less, not as much ever since he went up to Cup.
Yeah.
But I see him sometimes. It's not as often as I probably should, but
It's all right.
yeah. The Rays are 10-0 at home.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
In that beautiful ballpark.
That's beautiful. That's not the term I would use for that. Tropicana Field has always been kind of a weird, terrible place to play, if you ask anyone that's played there. Because at one point they used real dirt and turf for their outfield, which just did not mix at all. Yikes, the Royals are struggling. 4-15 with 110 runs allowed through, I believe it's 19 games. Yikes, what are we doing?
Is it too early to think that this Rangers team might turn into a dynasty here?
I was just looking at that. Oh my goodness. They are young, but they also have veterans that they needed to have leading the way. They're on a 4-game win streak, 8-2 in their last 10, 12-6 overall. They're front runners to win the AL West right now. And I would love to see this team in the playoffs. They're very entertaining. They play with enthusiasm, and they're a fun team. The Orioles are also a fun team, even though they're sitting 3rd in their division right now. It's a stacked division. 11-7, same record as the Yankees. 3-game win streak, 7-3 in their last 10. Adley Rutschman leading the way there, even though he is so young. I don't know if you've seen these videos circling the internet of, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Adley Rutschman that hit a double, and he does a little sprinkler, and then the POs that are just have an off day, they have water in their mouth, they just spit it out like a sprinkler. Yeah, it was so funny. Let me look it up. Orioles sprinkler celebration 2023. There we go. Let's watch this.
That's funny.
Okay,
They are fun.
we're just watching a TikTok.
Has lived up to the hype, putting runs on the board as well as rolling out these innovative celebrations where the base runner interacts with the dugout. When they hit a single, they turn the faucet on. Simple, effective. When they hit an extra base hit, naturally they turn on the sprinklers and the dugout light.
Yeah, the Orioles have fun, and I can say I'm a pseudo Orioles fan after that. That is so I love teams that have fun. With just everyday baseball, you got to make everyday baseball fun. You're in it for 162 games. You got to make it fun somehow, and that's just how the Orioles do it, and they do it right. They have a winning record through, I believe it's 18 games that they've played. So, watch out for them as the season progresses and October gets nearer. Is that it?
Fun. They are gonna be fun. The whole rest of the season is gonna be very fun.
Cannot wait.
And it's gonna be very fun for Westfield sports going forward.
Yes. We have like a month left, a month and a half.
Crazy.
Like
This is flowing by. Feels like yesterday we were in the learning center doing college game day. Now we're a month out of being out of our jobs.
That's crazy.
I'll still be here though. Don't worry.
Yes,
Adrian will
still
be ready
here.
to pass the torch.
Yep.
Producer Alan, he's also got another year. He's a junior, so, yeah.
He's a junior with a senior heart.
According to Evan, I'm actually a senior.
Okay, let's relax. I wrote an article for Westfield Living, and I swear I put junior in there, but apparently I put senior. So that's tough by me. All right, I got to get out of here. I got pre-calcs to go do. I don't want to fail a test. or
Yeah.
anything, so
Unpopular opinion, and I will come back to this. Miami Dolphins are winning the Super Bowl 2024.
Wow.
that's not happening. All right, peace out, guys.
Wow. All right. Take care. Peace.
We're on. Tonight, we have a battle between two teams, both looking for their 12th win of the season. It's the 11-5-1 Greenfield Central Cougars taking on your 11-7 Westfield Shamrocks. Good evening, folks. I'm Rowan Elbert, joined by nobody. That is right, I will be the only one calling this game for you. Now, Westfield is coming off a 1-0 victory over Zionsville, which marked their third win against a top 15 state team in the past week and a half. Braden Hibbler has been red hot in the past 4 games with a .461 batting average and 5 RBIs in the past week and a half. Colin Lindsay will be getting the ball in what is expected to be a bullpen game tonight for the pitching staff. He has an ERA of 0 in 6 total innings of work. Now to Greenfield Central. They are currently on a 3-game win streak and coming off a series sweep against Pendleton Heights. But I want to take a quick moment to talk about Andrew Zellers, a senior who is currently batting .455 with 12 RBIs and a home run. He's an on-base machine who will be a problem tonight. But starting tonight for Greenfield Central is junior Landon Brooks, who in 3 appearances this season has a 7.56 ERA. He will be looking to bounce back against a Westfield offense that only amounted 1 run last Friday against Zionsville, but they still picked up the win. Now, I do need to bring up possible weather coming in. Thunderstorms could be rolling in maybe an hour, according to a radar we have up. Maybe not. And that could be an issue tonight. We could have a delay or a cancellation tonight. It will depend, but that will be something to keep an eye on. And it should be a good game tonight. We will be right back with the first pitch. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network.
Play baseball for the Warriors. To throw out the first pitch because she has been his #1 supporter in everything he does and has made hundreds of sacrifices for him to get him where he is today. Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Cole. Next up, number 5, Evan. His parents, Christy and Shannon. Evan is a 2-year letter winner in baseball, also played WHS basketball for 2 years, and was a Student Impact Basketball champion last year. His honors include being named the 2022 All-USA Central Super Team Honorable Mention, a 2022 Hamilton County Honorable Mention, and 2023 Preseason Central. Batting fourth in right field, number 22, Connor Sims. If you are able, remove your caps and feel free to sing along as we honor America with our national anthem.
And we are back for the opening pitch. Colin Lindsay will have the ball for Westfield. Like I mentioned earlier, an ERA of 0, but in his last appearance against Noblesville in Game 2, he pitched for 3 innings, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, and 0 earned runs. Now, Colin Lindsay, although he has been kind of in a bit of a slump when it comes to hitting, only batting .226. Pitching-wise, he's been quite reliable as an opening pitcher for a bullpen game, which I was told by Benell today that we will likely have a bullpen game today. Andrew Nicholson will likely be the next man up. And also, an important thing about tonight, senior night. 14 seniors are being honored tonight, which is absolutely wild. But they will be taking on a red-hot Greenfield Central team. They have great hitting. And I mentioned earlier, Landon Brooks, only a 7.5 ERA. He will look to improve that tonight. Now for my game prediction. Greenfield Central, they have a high-powered offense, but they don't have the pitching to back it up. And if you look at their opponents all year, they really haven't played anyone that good except for Fishers. So I'm giving Westfield the nod. I think they're going to win a high-scoring game. I'm giving them the win 9-8. I'm going to give Westfield the edge there. Now we're looking at Colin Lindsay here in the opening pitches, and a lot of these pitches are outside of the zone, a little bit too high. The fastballs are not connecting. Hopefully that can change in the game. But leading off for Greenfield Central will be Grant Shepard, the left fielder. Grant Shepard having quite the year, batting .394 on the season. He also has 5 RBIs. Like I mentioned earlier with Colin Lindsay, command has been an issue for him. Can he fix it tonight? That pitch, they're going to give it to him in the zone. 0-1 count. On the outer edge of the zone. 0-1 count for Lindsay. A swing and a miss by Shepard. 0-2. So far, the fastball working for Lindsay. 0-2 pitch. And that one a little bit outside, below the zone. 1-2 count. One-two pitch. That one will be fouled off into the left field territory. And if you've heard me commentate before, you've heard me talk about the umpire quite a bit. There will be none of that tonight, as before the game, the umpire, he gave me a little bit of a salute before the game to the press box, and I don't have the nerve to say anything negative about him now. That one a little bit too high, 2-2 count. Like I mentioned with Colin in the warm-ups, these pitches have been a little bit too high. Can he get them in the zone? Can he finish the job in this at-bat on the 0-2 count? 0-2 pitch, got him to swing and miss. And now batting the pitcher, Landon Brooks. Landon Brooks batting .340. Batting .340 on the season with 3 RBIs. That one in the zone for strike 1, 0-1 count with 1 out. Oh, 1 count. A swing and a miss. Wow. 0-2 count. I really don't get that swing. That pitch looked a little bit too high to me. But anyway, 0-2 count. That one will be below the zone. 1-2 count for Lindsay. One-two count coming. Lindsay on the 1-2. He got him for strike 3. Colin Lindsay dealing so far with his second strikeout. Now, Andrew Zellers, the first baseman up to bat, I talked about him earlier in the broadcast, batting .455. That one in the zone drops in beautifully by Colin Lindsay, 0-1 count. .01 pitch for Lindsay, and that one will be fouled off. But like I mentioned earlier with Andrew Zellers, an on-base machine. He will be a problem tonight, but can Colin Lindsay hold him off? That will be the question. 0-2 pitch coming. Lindsay on the 0-2. A little bit outside, and I don't know. Would I have given that to him? Maybe, but like I mentioned earlier, I am not going to go that way with the umpire tonight. 1-2 pitch coming. That one in the dirt. 2-2 count. Nick Alm, the catcher, and Colin Lindsay, the pitcher, both seniors, and they were honored tonight for senior night. Two-two pitch. Colin Lindsay. That one a little bit too low. Now an even count, 3-2. I think you go all or nothing here. I think you go right for the fastball. I think that might be the pitch of choice. And that one will be a little bit too high, and that will be a ball. And Connor Sims, the right fielder, is up to bat. And with Austin Zellers back there, his on-base percentage was at 51%. That will surely go up. Man on base for Colin Lindsay. First pitch. That one a little bit too low. But Zellers, he had quite the lead off of first base there, and that might be something to look out for. 1-0 count. A swing and a miss for Colin Lindsay. And although a man on base already, Colin is having probably the best outing I've seen from him all year. 1-1 count. That one a little bit too high. Even count now, 2-1. Two-one count for Lindsay. And Zellers is going to take off for second base. Did he make it there? He will be safe. Like I mentioned earlier, you're going to need to watch out for that. Colin Lindsay himself on the base paths is quite dangerous. 10 stolen bases. But he was not able to pick off the man on first, who is now on second. 2-2 pitch coming. And that ball will be fouled off and crushed. Wow. It will remain a 2-2 count. Two balls, two strikes with 2 outs. Colin on the 2-2. He got him, and that will end the inning. Colin Lindsay, despite letting a man on first base, has quite the first inning of action for him. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back, bottom of the first. Braden Hibbler will be leading off. Now, Braden Hibbler, red hot in the past 4 games, 5 RBIs, 8 for 13. I mean, he is red hot right now. You do not want to, ruin that. So Hibbler leading off, which I actually really like that decision to have Hibbler being the leadoff man with how red hot he's been. Landon Brooks on the mound for Greenfield Central. Like I mentioned earlier, a 7.56 ERA. And for those of you who do not know baseball, that is not good. Braden Hibbler up to bat now. Brooks, first pitch, and a swing and a miss. Wow, in the dirt, too. I really don't get that by Hibbler. I know Hibbler, kind of an aggressive approach at the plate at all times, and that can hurt him at some points. 0-1 count. Did he check his swing? No, he didn't. 1-1 count. Brooks on the 1-1, and a swing and a miss yet again for Braden Hibbler. 1-2 count. Brooks on the 1-2. That one, they're going to give it to him. Wow. I thought that was on the outside edge of the zone, but no, they're going to give that to Landon Brooks for his first strikeout of the day. Eli Manbeck, the left fielder, up to bat. And talk about him having quite the year. And he will try to bunt. And he has been the master of the bunt all season. He has had many perfectly laid bunts. And so far on the season, he is batting .389. I mean, incredible. Oh, 1 count. And that one will be fouled off. That one right by the fence. And if you don't notice, we actually have a mic there to pick up crowd noise. And me and my producer were both looking down to make sure the mic did not get hit. 0-2 pitch. That one will be fouled off yet again. By the way, stay tuned for the 5th inning. We have a new segment on this day in baseball history. Check that out in the 5th inning. If we make it there with the storms coming in. 0-2 count. Did he swing? He's going to run it out to first base. It won't matter. I think he kind of swung anyway. And that will be the second out of the inning. Now, Evan Russ, the right fielder, up to bat. Evan Russ, he is the only Shamrock with a home run all season. Can he make it number 2? First pitch, that one in the zone, strike 1. We've seen Brooks go to the off-speed quite a bit. Will he throw some fastballs? Only time will tell. And a swing and a miss, I really don't get that. Definitely an outside pitch. I really don't get the move to swing on that pitch. Oh, 0-2 pitch, and that one will be in the center field, and Evan Russ will have a single. Very well hit ball by Evan Russ, and that will give the Westfield their first hit of the day. Now the pitcher Colin Lindsay up to bat with 2 outs, a man on first base. First pitch, that one a little bit too high, 1-0 count. Colin Lindsay, like I mentioned, in a bit of a slump, batting .226, but currently dealing pitching-wise, and that one a little bit outside, 1-1 count. Now Evan Russ is going to take a bigger leap off of first base. 2-0 count. And a pickoff attempt will not get there in time. Count coming. And that one will be grounded to the third baseman. And that will be a ground out, and that will end the inning. After only one hit, the Westfield Shamrocks could not bring in a run. Going into the second inning, it will be tied 0-0. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. We are back, and already we have a pitching change. I really don't get the move by Bunnell, but Andrew Nicholson, the usual closer, will be coming in now after Colin Lindsay had quite the outing in the first inning, only allowing one walk and having 3 strikeouts, which was his season high already in one inning. Andrew Nicholson on the year with a 3.9 ERA and 2 saves, and now he will come in. I will mention with Andrew Nicholson, he has great off-speed pitches. I wish the velocity would be a little bit better, but the off-speed pitches work well for him. And the question will be, will he be able to get these Greenfield Central batters to bite on that? Up to bat will be the shortstop, A.J. Oden. A.J. Oden batting .302 on the year with 17 RBIs. I mean, that is absolutely wild. 17 RBIs. And that would make him second on the team in RBIs behind Connor Sims. Andrew Nicholson, first pitch. That one will be fouled off, back by the fence. 0-1 count. Nicholson on the 0-1. And that one will be grounded to second base, and that will go down as a single. A.J. Oden with his first hit of the day and his first at-bat.
Batting next will be the catcher, number 11, Brody Mayberry.
Brody Mayberry, the catcher, batting .278, is now up. He has 9 RBIs on the year. First pitch, Nicholson, he's going to try and bunt, actually. And he will take a walk to first base as it appears he was hit by the pitch. And now Bunnell will come out and he will have a discussion with the umpire. I really don't get the debate. He either got hit by the pitch or he didn't, and it looked like to me he may have gotten hit by the pitch. Unfortunately, we really don't have like a video review, so there's not much you can do except complain about the call. And now the umpires are going to have a meeting. Tell him this. Yeah, tell him this. The umpires had a meeting, and now it appears nothing has changed. We still have a man on second base and still a man on first base. And Parker Rhodes, the second baseman, is up to bat. Rhodes batting only 200 on the year. Man in scoring position, first pitch. He's going to try and bunt. That one will be fouled off. Oh, 1 count. Oh, 1 count. Nicholson in quite the jam so far. 0 outs and 2 men on base. That one will be hit into right field. Evan Russ is going to get on that, and that will be caught for the first out of the inning, and we have a runner running to third base. And he will make it there. No attempt for a throw, and now a man on third base and a man on first base. Now the center fielder, Kirk Nett, he is batting .459 with 13 RBIs and a home run on the year so far. Can he drive in a run here? First pitch, that one will be in the dirt outside, ball 1. Nicholson, 1-0 count. That one will be hit into right field yet again, going back, and that one will land just short of a home run. Wow, and that will bring in a run, and now two runners in scoring position. That ball, I mean, Evan Russ made a great effort, but that one was probably an inch away from getting out of here. I mean, that ball was crushed. Now, Andrew Nicholson is in quite the jam now. 2 runners in scoring position. He already gave up a run. Now maybe Bunnell might be regretting the decision to have Colin Lindsay come out of the game already. Would anything have changed? Maybe, maybe not. Zach Austin, the third baseman, up to bat. Batting .258 with 7 RBIs. Can he make it an 8th and a 9th? First pitch for Nicholson. That one will drop in for a strike. Absolutely beautiful.
That was nasty, as Rowan likes to say.
0-1 count. Nicholson. Oh, 1 pitch. He's going to try and bunt, and that one will be fouled off. Are they saying a fair ball? Wow, and they're going to have a runner run in. And that will be a run scored, I believe, or maybe not. Are they going to call that a fair ball or not? And now Bunnell is going to come out and have a discussion with the umpire. That did not look fair to me. That ball did not look fair to me, but to be fair, he has a better view than me. And quite a lot of confusion here. And that one's going to hit the batter. Wow. Or it almost hit the batter. It looked like it hit him. It sounded like it hit him. And now Bunnell is going to go back out there and talk to Nicholson. I mean, wow. Nicholson, he seems a little bit shook out there. Zach Austin is out there at bat. A man on third. We do have a 2-0 ball game, so they did count the run. Apparently it was a fair ball. So 2-0 ball game. And after a quick mound visit, out. Now Andrew Nicholson is 1 out away from ending this inning. Half inning. And Grant Shepard back up, the leadoff hitter. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. 2 outs. Nicholson, first pitch. That one will be in the dirt. 1-0 count. One-zero pitch, Nicholson. A swing and a miss. Grant Shepard, he already struck out earlier. Can he strike out again? Can Andrew Nicholson deliver the second strikeout on Shepard of the day? 1-1 count. 1-1 pitch. That will drop in beautifully. 1-2 count. Got him looking. Nicholson, 1-2 count, 2 outs, 1 strike away from ending the half inning. He already gave up 2 runs. Nicholson, that one in the dirt. Nick Alm made a pretty good effort of blocking it though. 2-2 count. Two pitch coming. Nicholson 1 strike away from ending the jam. 2-2 pitch. And that one will be hit into center field. And that will be caught by Evan Russ. And that will end the half inning. Although Westfield was able to limit the damage a little bit, still a 2-0 ball game. Greenfield Central with a 2-0 lead. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back. Landon Brooks is still out there. 2-0 ball game, bottom of the second. And Matt Drozlik is up to bat. Drozlik on the season, 12 RBIs. That is second on the team, and batting .267. He is a power hitter. Despite not hitting a home run all season, he is quite the power hitter. And if I'm a betting man, which I am, I would bet on him possibly hitting a home run before the end of the regular season. First pitch, in the zone, kind of a late call, 0-1 count. One pitch. Brooks. That one will drop in beautifully. 0-2 count on the off speed by Brooks. Oh-2 pitch, Brooks, and that one will be hit into center field, and that one will land. Matt Drozlik with a double. And a man on second base in scoring position. Matt Drozlik doing the sprinkler celebration. I think you all know what I'm talking about. An iconic baseball celebration, in my opinion. He had a huge lead off of second base, and he kind of slipped a bit as he ran back to second base. 2-2 count. And Gentry will call time. Now, we do not have a pitch clock in high school yet, but if we did, Brooks would have plenty of pitch clock violations as Gentry will hit that into the infield, pop up, and caught. Now 2 outs. Ian Wilson, the third baseman, up to bat. Batting .229 on the year, but at times he can give you some good outings. He had a 3-hit game not too long ago against Cathedral, and he had a 2-hit game against Lawrence Central. He also came in to pitch for that game. 2 outs, and Wilson's going to hit that one to the second baseman, and that will be a ground out, and that will end that half of the inning. Westfield unable to strike back. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back. Andrew Nicholson is back out there yet again, which is kind of shocking. Landon Brooks, the pitcher, back up to bat. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Andrew Nicholson gave up 2 hits, and he had a strikeout. He is in quite the jam. He was in quite the jam in that inning, but he was able to work through it, but still gave up 2 earned runs, which is never good. 0-1 pitch, or first pitch, and that one a off speed, and that will be grounded out to Drozlik for the first out. Already a much better start to the inning for Nicholson than the last inning. Andrew Zellers, who walked earlier, is back up strike, but Alm did not even make the catch. So 1-0 count. But you never know. It could have taken quite the framework to make that a strike. 1-0 count. Nicholson, 1-0. That one will finally drop in. 1-1 count. Like I said, the curveball, that can get somebody looking right there like it did with Zellers. A 1-1 count. Yet again, that will be a little bit too high, but still a 2-1 count, even count. Nicholson. That one a little bit outside. 3-1 count. If I'm Andrew Nicholson in this situation, to get out of possibly make a comeback in the count, I would go back to the curveball, and that one too high, and that will be a walk. The second walk of the day for Andrew Zellers. He has quite the plate discipline, I have noticed, when you look at the stat sheet and even watching him play. Connor Sims, the right fielder, who leads the team in RBIs with 22, is up to bat. He struck out earlier. He was Colin Lindsay's third and final strikeout. Top of the third, 1 out. Nicholson. And that one in the zone. Strike 1. And Zellers, we saw it in the first inning. He actually had a stolen base. He had quite the lead off of first base. He is looking possibly for stolen base number 2. Nicholson, the the pitch off attempt. Not in time. 0-1 count. A 1 count, 1 out. Nicholson looking back. And a swing and a miss. Talk about 2 count. Nicholson, 0-2. And they're going to give it to him. Strike 3. And now A.J. Oden is up to bat. A.J. Oden, he had a very well hit ball into right field, which almost made it out of here. What can he do here against Nicholson yet again? And another pickoff attempt, not in time. Nicholson. First pitch. That one a little bit too high. Had a little bit too much movement on that pitch. But I do want to mention that we have had talks about a storm coming in, but right now not looking like it. It is very clear, very sunny. We do have some clouds coming in, but so far I think we're in the clear. 1-0 count, and that one was fouled off right by the press box. It was coming right towards me. But 1-1 count. And we do have the mic down there, and I'm sure you heard all of that. Never mind, we didn't. Or you didn't. 1-1 count. Did he check his swing? Yes, he did. 1-2 count. And we have some confusion here. Hibbler is running back to the dugout like the inning had ended. so is Ian Wilson, and the inning is not over yet. We still are one strike away. The umpire had to hold up his fingers for the count. Two outs. 2-2 pitch, that one way outside. Now an even count, and if he were to walk a batter here, if he were to walk Rhodes, then that would allow a run in, and the bases would still be loaded. So you definitely do not want that. 3-2 pitch coming, Nicholson. That one will be hit well into center field, and that one will land. And it looks like that will be a bases clearing RBI triple. I mean, talk about a clutch hit with 2 outs. Parker Rhodes. Wow. Now, there will be a mound visit with Nicholson. I mean, that was definitely the worst case scenario on that 3-2 pitch. Kirk necked up to bat, and we have a man on third base too, Parker Rhodes. So can Nicholson possibly hold off any further damage? First pitch, that one will drop in for a strike. Definitely something Nicholson needed for his mental state, which, being a pitcher, although maybe not as physically demanding as other positions, it is probably mentally the hardest position in sports, in my opinion. 0-1 count, that one will be smoked into right field. Evan Russ, he will make the catch, and that will end that half of the inning. Going into the bottom of the third, the Westfield Shamrocks are trailing 5-0. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back. Landon Brooks still on the mound. I am Rowan Elbert. If you were not paying attention or were not watching in the pregame intro, I am doing this game alone. If you are just now tuning in, Evan Cummings is filming for a senior night with his account EC Sports Media on Instagram. You should definitely check that out. Aiden McNally's at work. Callie Sigler is doing lacrosse, and Drew Taylor is doing Drew Taylor things. Landon Brooks so far on the day having a pretty solid outing, 0 earned runs, and also only giving up 2 hits on the day so far. And it will be Caden Lindsay up to bat. Caden Lindsay with a .269 batting average, and I complained earlier of Caden Lindsay, but the umpire kind of blocked my view, so I could be wrong here in this inning, and it would be incredible. Braden Hibbler, he struck out earlier. He made some really odd swings in his first at-bat. Can he fix it here? Caden Lindsay with quite the lead off of second base, too. That one not quite in the zone. 1-0 count. maybe a little bit too high, maybe a little bit too on the right side edge of the plate, maybe. 1-0 count. Brooks, 1-0 count. They're going to give that to him. That ball will drop in, 1-1 count. Braden Hibbler leading the team in RBIs with 13. Can he make it a 14th RBI? 1-1 count. A swing and a miss yet again. And I mean, talk about an odd swing. That pitch was a little bit outside, and he swung at that pitch. I really don't get that. I was telling Braden before the game, like, dude, you're red hot right now. You're batting above 300. Maybe I got to his head a bit. Maybe I shouldn't have told him that. 1-2 pitch. That one in the dirt. Caden Lindsay looked like he was ready to go right to third base. If the catcher Mayberry hadn't made the block on that, then Lindsay was ready to take off to third base. 2-2 count. Hibbler, that is going to be a foul ball. That looked like it would stay fair for a little bit, and I think Hibbler, if that ball stayed fair, it looked like he could have made it to first base, maybe. 2-2 count, 0 outs.
Right.
2-2 pitch, Brooks. That one a little bit too high. Now an even count, 3-2. Pitch. That one will be fouled off and crushed. Braden Hibbler on the 3-2. Like I've mentioned before, very aggressive. He's very aggressive in his at-bats, and that can hurt him sometimes, and at other times it's his benefit, and that time it hurt him. A strike out for Landon Brooks. Eli Manbeck up to bat. He is 0 for 1 on the day so far. Eli Manbeck, if you would have told me going into the season that he would be leading the team in batting average, I would not believe you. But Eli Manbeck having quite the season after having kind of a rough start, and Lindsay is going to take off to third base, and it appears that will be a ground out for Manbeck. 2 outs with a man on third. Yeah, they didn't even try to pick off Caden Lindsay there. I mean, he has incredible speed. 2 outs, a man on third. Evan Russ, who had a hit earlier, is looking to get a second hit on the day. First pitch. They're going to give that to him again. Wow, that looked like it was more towards Evan Russ's body on the curveball, but apparently not. 0-1 count. Like I mentioned, I'm going to be cool with the umpire. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to play it cool today. 0-1 count. A swing and a miss on the outside pitch. You can tell Evan Russ, he wants these balls badly. As he's going for outside pitches, he wants these balls badly. He wants a second home run maybe. And did he check a swing there? and they're going to call him out on strikes, and that will end the inning. Maybe he wanted it too much. Going into the top of the fourth, you are watching the Westfield Sports Network. We have a pitching change. Matt Drozlik is pitching now. Andrew Nicholson is at first base now. So basically, Drozlik and Nicholson switched places, as we've seen Nicholson play first base this season, but Drozlik only making a couple of appearances on the year. He has an ERA of 0. He has struck out 7 batters, given up 1 walk, and only 1 hit in 4 innings of action for him. So Drozlik, a pretty reliable reliever. And now the third baseman, Zach Austin, is up to bat. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Drozlik on the first pitch. That one had some heat. 0-1 count. Drozlik on the 0-1. And that one is going to be fouled off. 0-2 count. Now Matt Drozlik, he's only had 4 innings of work all year, and I don't want to jinx anything, but maybe he deserves more. 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be fouled off, and that was absolutely crushed right by the dugout, right by the Greenfield Central dugout. Still an 0-2 count for Matt Drozlik. Drozlik, that one is going to be fouled off yet again. But the question is, can Zach Austin make Matt Drozlik pay and possibly get a huge base hit? (0-2 count, Drozlik. A swing and a miss. Nasty pitch by Matt Drozlik. It appears that the fastball is the weapon of choice for Matt Drozlik. Grant Shepard, the leadoff man, is back up to bat. That one in the dirt. Ball 1. Shepard is 0 for 2 on the day. No count, and that ball is going to be hit over the head of Ian Wilson. That is going to go down for a base hit. It looks like it's going to be a single for Grant Shepard. Now the pitcher, Landon Brooks, is back up to bat. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Matt Drozlik, only the second hit he's given up all season, and I know very minimal workload, but still, and that one is fouled off right by the fence. Oh, 1 count with 1 out. And a pickoff attempt is not in time. The one thing I will give Matt Drozlik credit for, unlike many relievers, he's got a lot of velocity and he's able to keep it in the zone. He's got good command. I will give him that. 0-1 pitch. That one in the dirt. 1-1 count. And I said that about him having good command just as he threw one in the dirt. Maybe I should stop talking. 1-1 count with 1 out. And that ball is going to be hit well into right field, and that will land, and that will be a single for Landon Brooks, and that will have Grant Shepard moving to second base. And a mound visit for Matt Drozlik, and Andrew Zellers is back up to bat. He has walked 2 times and has a stolen base, and he had a run. He was driven in by Parker Rhodes. 1 out, Matt Drozlik, 2 men in scoring position. That one, that will land right in the zone beautifully. 0-1 count. Drozlik on the 0-1, and that one will be fouled off and crushed. Nick Alm, he's going to make an effort for it, but he will not make it there. 0-2 count with 1 out. By the way, stay tuned for the top of the 5th. We have a new segment called This Day in Baseball History, May 8th. Oh, 2 count, Drozlik. And they're going to give it to him. Strikeout for Matt Drozlik. The second strikeout of the day for Matt Drozlik. And now 2 outs. With Connor Sims up to bat. He has struck out 2 times. Can it be a third? Still a man in scoring position. Connor Sims leads the team in RBIs with 22. The Greenfield Central team with 22 RBIs. Can it be a 23rd? That one on the outside edge of the zone, they're going to give it to him. 0-1 count. A 1 pitch, Drozlik, and that one is going to be crushed into left field, going back, and it will land. And it appears that that pitch is going to drive in 2 runs. And now a 7-0 ball game. Definitely not what we wanted out of that at bat. Connor Sims with his first hit of the day, and now a 7-0 ball game. I'm a little bit confused here as we have everybody's going back to the dugout. I am very confused here as that ball landed. It looked like that ball landed to me. And we have the Greenfield Central umpire talking with the umpire manager talking with the umpire. And we have a new pitcher out there for Greenfield Central. The new pitcher for Greenfield Central is Kyle Oden. Now, Kyle Oden on the season with a 2.4 ERA in 4 appearances. So, and there is definitely some confusion. And there are now 6 runs on the board, not 7. I'm still a little bit confused on what happened there, but we are now in the bottom of the 4th with Kyle Oden pitching. 2.4 ERA on the season. He also hits for the team, and with the looks of looking at his stats right now, maybe we shouldn't talk about that. 160 batting average. The junior Kyle Oden. Bottom of the 4th. And Kyle Oden, bringing him in the game, I don't know if I agree with that decision by Greenfield Central, as Landon Brooks was having a pretty good outing, not giving up a single earned run. And Colin Lindsay is up to bat. He is 0 for 1 on the day. And that ball is going to be hit well into left field, and that will be a base hit for Colin Lindsay. And already not a great start for Kyle Oden. Matt Drozlik is back up to bat. He pitched in the last inning, giving up an earned run, but striking out 2 batters. That pitch outside. Colin Lindsay leads the team in stolen bases with 10, so maybe expect him to pursue second base. 1-0 count. That one is outside yet again. 2-0 count. Two-0 pitch. They're going to give that to him on the outside edge. 2-1 count. Two-one pitch, and Lindsay is going to take off to second base, and it won't matter. Matt Drozlik with a ball hit to right field. That will be a single, and Colin Lindsay will make his way to third base with 0 outs, a man on third and a man on first. Nick Alm up to bat. 0 for 1 on the day. In Nick Alm's last at-bat, really an unfortunate circumstance for him. He fouled one off, but then the first baseman, Zellers, made a great hustle play right by the dugout to make the catch. So 0 for 1 on the day for Alm, with a man on third in Lindsay, and that one will be in the dirt. Ball 1. One 0 count, and that ball will be hit, fouled off into the right field foul area, and that will be caught by Zellers. Would you look at that? Another great hustle play by Andrew Zellers. And Nick Alm, yet again, the victim of that. And Tyler Gentry is now up to bat, 0 for 1 on the day. And a swing and a miss for Gentry. Still a man on third and a man on first. Keep that in mind with one out. 0-1 pitch, that one outside. 1-1 counts now. Kyle Oden not having much going for him as he's given up 2 hits. And a swing and a miss for Gentry. And Drozlik is going to take off to second base, and there will be no attempt for a throw. Now 2 runners in scoring position for Westfield with 1 out. Now Matt Drozlik, I mean, he has a big figure, and you don't expect him to make these hustle plays, but he gets a stolen base there, and that one will be outside in the dirt, 2-2 count. I mean, we've seen it earlier in the year. Drew Law, the common pinch hitter, or pinch runner, I should say, will come in for Drozlik. But as of late, Drozlik has been out there on the base paths, and he's been doing great. That ball a little bit too high, 3-2 count. If there were to be a ball thrown, then the bases would be loaded with 1 out. Three-two pitch, and that one's going to be hit into right field. Tyler Gentry will bring in Colin Lindsay, and Matt Drozlik will make his way to third base. An RBI single for Tyler Gentry, and the Westfield Shamrocks strike back with a run. Ian Wilson up to bat, 0 for 1 on the day. And Gentry, he's going to take off. He's going to make the throw to second base, and he will make it there. There will be no throw to second base, and now 2 runners in scoring position yet again with only 1 out. Maybe this could be the inning where Westfield kind of strikes through, and that one will be fouled off by Wilson. Ian Wilson, the batting average, it really won't tell you everything about him. He's a very streaky hitter, but when he's in his groove, man, he's pretty good. We also have a man in the bullpen for Westfield. It looks like it's Preston Tam. I could be wrong, but Preston Tam could be coming out. 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be hit into right field, and that one will land. Ian Wilson will drive in 2 runs. Matt Drozlik, never mind, it will only be 1. Tyler Gentry will stay put at third base. But would you look at that? The Westfield Shamrocks strike back yet again with another run of their own. Ian Wilson. And now a mound visit for Kyle Oden, who's given up 2 earned runs with 4 hits. Our PA guy just said that they have Chick-fil-A at the softball field for $5. Talk about a bargain. I know most of you watching or listening aren't here, but if you were, that would be quite the bargain for you. Anyway, Caden Lindsay back up to bat after a mound visit with Kyle Oden. He's given up 4 hits and 2 earned runs. He's only gotten through 1 batter. Caden Lindsay 1 for 1 on the day. And that ball is going to be fouled off. 0-1 count with Gentry on third. I thought Gentry, when Ian Wilson hit the RBI single, I thought Gentry could have made his way to home plate, but they held him at third, and speaking of, Ian Wilson's going to take off to second base, and Lindsay, it appears he swung at that, so Wilson will have to go back. 0-2 count. Or he made contact with it, maybe. I kind of heard a little bit of contact, too. So 0-2 pitch, either way, with 1 out. And now Wilson will take off, a ball in the dirt. And Wilson is going to make it to second base. Not even an attempt for a throw at second base, which might be the best move. So, yet again, 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. And that ball is going to be in the dirt yet again. 2-2 count. I mean, with Kyle Oden, the stats, they looked great. 2.47 ERA in 4 appearances, but he's looking like he's getting shelled so far, and that one's in the dirt. So now a 3-2 pitch incoming. A 3-2 pitch incoming for Kyle Oden. Three-two pitch, and that one's going to be hit well, and that's going to be caught by the second baseman. Wow. And it appears he also made a tag too on Ian Wilson. That's going to end the inning. Would you look at that? A double play by Greenfield Central is going to end an inning where they gave up 2 runs. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back. Top of the 5th, Preston Tam is out there for Westfield. A 10.5 ERA, which is not great, obviously, but he's got really good velocity. He's got a great fastball, but command has been a huge issue for him. And now for something I've been teasing all night. On this day in baseball history, I got the idea from Howard Kellman and Jack McMullen when I took a visit out to Victory Field and checked out what they were doing, the Indianapolis Indians broadcasters. And I'm going to give you one right here. Jim Catfish Hunter threw a perfect game for the Oakland Athletics back in 1968. And Catfish Hunter in the Hall of Fame, too. That was his first season with the Athletics after being with the Royals previously. So there will be plenty of more on this day in baseball history incoming throughout the 5th inning. Yet Preston Tam is out there. 10.5 ERA, like I mentioned earlier. But like I've said, the velocity, if he can hit on those fastballs, he could have a good outing. And I'm not going to rule it out. And A.J. Oden, the shortstop, is up to bat. A.J. Oden 2 for 2 on the day, having quite the outing. Tam first pitch. That one in the dirt. 1-0 count. Tam on the 1-0 pitch. And that one about hit Oden on the knee. Like I've said, the command has been an issue. 2-0 count. Tam 2-0. That one's going to be hit well into center field. Caden Lindsay will make the catch, though, and that will give Tam his first out of the inning. Now, Brody Mayberry is back up to bat. 2 walks on the day so far for Mayberry, the catcher. Oh. And actually, we have a pinch hitter for Carson Gant is going to be a pinch hitter. And that one is a wild pitch. And it actually had Nick Alm's glove fly off of him. So definitely not a great start to that at bat. A .333 batting average in 10 games for Gant. 1-0 count. That one in the dirt yet again. I mean, Preston Tam, he's got such great velocity. But if he can learn how to possibly get that in the zone, then he could be a great pitcher, in my opinion. 2-0 count for Tam. Make it a 2-1. The fastball will land. Even count now. Two-one pitch for Tam, even count. On Gant. And a swing and a miss for Preston Tam. Nasty pitch. 2-2 count with 1 out. Three-two pitch. Tam, that one, they're not going to give that to him. Kind of on the outside edge, and that will be a walk for Gant. The first walk of the day for Preston Tam. And Parker Rhodes, who had an RBI triple, a bases clearing RBI triple. And now we have a pinch runner in for Greenfield Central. It's going to be Alex Thresh. One out. They're going to give that to Tam despite looking a little bit outside, but I'm not going to complain. Parker Rhodes, he had a great RBI, bases clearing RBI triple earlier. Let's see what he can do here against Tam, and a pickoff attempt is not in time. 0-1 count with 1 out. Tam on the 0-1. That one a little bit too low. 1-1 count. And another pickoff attempt is not in time yet again. Now, if you had Gant still out there on first base, you wouldn't really be worried. But with Thresh out there, you definitely should be worried as a pitcher. 1-1 count with 1 out. Tam on the 1-1. That ball is going to be hit into center field. And that is going to advance the runners. Parker Rhodes with his second hit of the day. And now Tam, with 1 out, has a man in scoring position. Kirk Necht is up to bat. He is 1 for 2 on the day. We've seen Tam in some jams throughout the season. Can he escape this one with a man in scoring position? That one a little bit too low. 1-0 count. Now, if I can compare Preston Tam to an MLB pitcher, which I don't know how many of you watched the MLB, Brusdar Graterol from the LA Dodgers, a reliever with lots of velocity but not a lot of command. That's who he reminds me of. 1-0 count. That one's going to be drilled to Tyler Gentry, and a double play it looks like, and that will end the inning. Preston Tam sure needed that one, and no runs are allowed. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. We are back, and Kyle Oden is still out there for the Greenfield Central Cougars. Now, to continue on this day in baseball history, Ernie Banks became the first black manager in MLB history for the Cubs after filling in for the ejected Whitey Lockman in 1973. So he technically became the first black manager in MLB history, paving the way for guys like Dave Roberts, who have been incredible. Also, as we're waiting on these warm-up pitches, Mark McGwire on this day hit his 400th career home run in 1998, becoming the quickest player to reach the milestone. Now, take a good guess at home how Mark McGwire was able to do it so quickly. I mean, definitely not natural, but still, Mark McGwire, a great player in his prime, even if it was done artificially. And we will have one more for you coming up later. And Kyle Oden. Braden Hibbler up to bat. Braden Hibbler having quite the aggressive at-bats as of late, as he is 0 for 2, as he has struck out 2 times. Can Braden Hibbler get his first hit of the day? He's been red hot as of late going into this game. First pitch, and that one's going to be hit to the third baseman, and that is going to be a ground out. So Braden Hibbler now 0 for 3 on the day. And Eli Manbeck, who is 0 for 2, is going to come back up to bat. Manbeck, who leads the team in batting average with a .389 batting average. Not an everyday player, which kind of shocks me because when he has the plate appearances he's showed out. First pitch, he's going to try and bunt. That one will be fouled off. Oh, 0-1 count for Oden. Oden, he was in quite the jam in the last inning. He gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, but he's looking a lot better now, a lot more calm, a lot more disciplined. That one's going to be outside. 1-2 count. Oden on the 1-1. And Manbeck is going to hit this one into right field. That will be a single for Eli Manbeck, his first hit of the day. Evan Russ is up to bat. He is 1 for 2 with a strikeout. Evan Russ, overall, he's really been the best hitter on this Westfield team all season. They're going to give that pitch to Odin on the kind of on the outside corner, 0-1 count. And 6-2 ball game. Anything can happen. And Manbeck is going to take off to second base, and that one's going to be fouled off by Russ, so Manbeck has to go back. And it appears Russ is going to call time as Manbeck is walking back to first base. O2 count for Odin. And Manbeck is going to take off yet again. A swing and a miss for Russ, and that is going to be a strikeout for Odin. The second strikeout on Russ today. And Colin Lindsay is back up to bat. And Colin Lindsay, 1 for 2 on the day. He opened the game pitching. And that ball, I don't agree with that call. That looked like it was low and outside, but they're going to give it to him. 0-1 count with 2 outs. Eli Manbeck on second base. 0-1 pitch coming. A swing and a miss for Lindsay. O2 count. Eli Manbeck on second base, like I mentioned earlier, 2 outs. 0-2 pitch, and Lindsay is going to hit this ball into right field, going back, and it is caught, and that will end the 5th inning. The Westfield Shamrocks unable to strike back, still a 6-2 ball game. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back in yet another pitching change for Bunnell. He told me going into the game it would be a bullpen day, and it has been. Nathan Bodenberg coming to pitch. Nathan Bodenberg on the season with a 3.5 ERA, but his best outing had to be at Newcastle when he gave up 0 earned runs, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts. And he went for 5 innings. He was great. And now to conclude the On This Day in Baseball history. On this day, May 8th, Randy Johnson struck out 20 batters in a 4-3 Diamondbacks win against the Reds. But he missed out on becoming the 3rd pitcher to ever strike out 20 batters in a complete game because the game went to extra innings and went to 11 innings, and Johnson only pitched 9. The other 2 pitchers that had done that before, 20 strikeouts in a complete game, would be Roger Clemens and Kerry Wood. So that for you is On This Day in Baseball history. Nathan Bodenberg. And we have a new batter for Greenfield Central. It is Alex Sanchez. A freshman, actually, Alex Sanchez. Batting batting .286 on the year. Alex Sanchez, a freshman, you don't expect them to get a lot of playing time, but with the playing time he's gotten, the stats have shown he's looked pretty good. So this should be a good matchup between him and Bodenberg. First pitch, Bodenberg. And a swing and a miss, even though that ball looked like it was quite in the dirt. So 0-1 count for Bodenberg. A 1 pitch, Bodenberg. And that one in the zone. That was kind of concerning if you're a Greenfield Central fan, as Sanchez, he ducked, even though that ball was right down the middle. 0-2 pitch for Bodenberg. And he got him on the off speed. Nathan Bodenberg, nasty pitch for the first out. And only 3 pitches. Now back to the top of the order with Grant Shepard, who is 1 for 3, and he struck out earlier as well. Bodenberg, first pitch. They are not going to give that to him. Bodenberg had an immaculate inning going, but that is now ruined. 1-0 count. The lefty Shepard. 1-0 Bodenberg. That one in the dirt. 2-0 count. Now with Bodenberg, we've seen so far in the game a lot of movement on off-speed pitches, something you love to see. And I expect him, if he's able to keep his command up, maybe we can see him go for the rest of the game, maybe. We'll see. 2-0 count. That one right by the knees of Shepard. 3-0 count with 1 out. Bodenberg, 3-0 count. That one in the zone, drops beautifully in. 3-1 count. 1 out. Bodenberg on the 3-1. And that will be hit into left field over the head of Ian Wilson, and that will drop in for a single. Grant Shepard, his second hit of the day, and the first hit allowed by Nathan Bodenberg. And the pitcher, Kyle Oden, is up to bat, batting .200 on the year. Definitely a lot of pinch hitting so far for Greenfield Central. Bodenberg, he is looking at Shepard at first base. That one in the dirt. Ball 1. Now Bodenberg, ever since he struck out Sanchez in the first at-bat, his command really hasn't been there, which I said would be a key factor in him continuing the game. Can he possibly get the off speeds back in the zone? 1-0 pitch. That one in the zone. 1-1 count. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bodenberg on the 1-1. A swing and a miss for Kyle Oden, and now Bodenberg 1 strike away from ending the at-bat. Bodenberg looking back at Shepard on first base. Bodenberg, that ball is going to be picked up by Bodenberg, grounded to second base, and a double play for Nathan Bodenberg, and that will end the inning. The Westfield Shamrocks are able to limit any damage done, and still a 6-2 ball game. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And Greenfield Central, we are back. They have a new pitcher, Jaden Marcus. Jaden Marcus, in 5 appearances on the year so far, has an ERA of 1.5. A senior, he's been pitching since sophomore year, and he has a career varsity ERA of 2.5. I mean, that is hard to compete with. And Matt Drozlik will be back up to bat for Westfield. And Matt Drozlik on the day so far is batting 2 for 2. And Benell is going to have a discussion with the umpire as Drozlik is walking back up to the plate. And it appears we have an issue, as it looked like the umpire and Benell were having a discussion. The umpire has his sheet out, and he is looking over at the Greenfield Central dugout, possibly verifying the changes that were done. There were many lineup changes by Greenfield Central. Maybe just verifying those. Matt Drozlik looking for hit number 3. And Alex Rudolph is on deck. We have not seen him today. First pitch, that ball is going to be fouled off. Alex Rudolph, quite the streaky hitter, batting .225, which we've seen that batting average go up and down quite a bit. He's in a bit of a slump lately. That is why we didn't see him in the lineup today. But we will see him in the next at-bat, 0-1 count. Rudolph pinch hitting for Nick Alm. And a swing and a miss for Rudolph. You could tell with a very aggressive swing, he wanted all of that pitch. Oh, 1 count, Marcus. That one way too high. 1-1 count. I mean, that fastball for Marcus, it's been very hit or miss. And usually it's too high. 1-1 count. That one will drop in for a strike. 1-2 count. 1 out. Rudolph, he will swing and miss. They're going to tag him anyway. And now 2 outs for Jaden Marcus. Tyler Gentry up to bat. He is 1 for 2. 2 outs. Marcus, first pitch. That one by the legs of Gentry, 1-0 count. And that one, they are not going to give that to Marcus. 2-0 count. Tyler Gentry, he's come up clutch in the big moments, and he had a hit earlier, but still only a .238 batting average going into this game. That one will drop in for a strike, 2-1 count, and that pitch had a lot of movement on that. Jaden Marcus, that looked like it was right by the legs of Gentry, but then it drops in for a strike. Great pitch. That one's also going to drop in for a strike, 2-2 count. The off-speed really working to the advantage of Jaden Marcus. 2-2 count with 2 outs. Marcus on the 2-2. He did not get him. 3-2 count coming. And Jaden Marcus, this would be quite the statement for him. If he can strike out Gentry, that would be his 3rd strikeout of the day. And he will strike him out. Swing and a miss for Gentry, and the Westfield Shamrocks cannot capitalize. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. Top of the 7th, the Westfield Shamrocks are going to need quite the comeback if they want to win this game. Top of the 7th, Nathan Bodenberg back out there. He gave up a hit and he had a strikeout in his last appearance. He had a double play where he picked up the ball that was grounded to him and created a double play. And we talked about the weather being a factor in this game, but it appears, according to our producer Alan and the radar, that we may barely miss the rain that is coming. So we got very lucky, possibly. Andrew Zellers, who has walked twice today and has made 2 very impressive plays at first base in foul territory. Great plate discipline. We'll see what he can do here. Can Nathan Bodenberg limit the damage done? Bodenberg, first pitch. That one's going to be hit well into center field. Zellers going back, and it is almost gone, but it will land. And Zellers is going to make his way to third base, and that is going to be a triple for Andrew Zellers. My goodness. If it couldn't get any worse for Westfield, it just did. A triple for Andrew Zellers. The second triple of the day for Greenfield Central. Connor Sims is back out there. He struck out twice, but he did have a hit. Both teams with 9 hits, but Greenfield Central is able to capitalize with runners in scoring position, and a swing and a miss by Sims. Oh, 1 count, Bodenberg. That one's going to be hit to Ian Wilson at third base, and the throw is in time for an out. And now A.J. Oden is back up to bat. He is 2 for 3 on the day so far. A man on third with 1 out. Oden, that ball is going to be fouled off. But A.J. Oden having quite the day, 2 for 3 on the day so far, and possibly may pick up an RBI here with a man on third base, Zellers, who has been a great base runner on the day so far with a stolen base. And a swing and a miss. Bodenberg with a nasty pitch, 0-2 count. Oden possibly looking for his 18th RBI of the season with a hit here. 0-2 count, Bodenberg. That one's going to be grounded, and nobody's going to pick that up. He will pick up his 18th RBI of the season. Zellers will make his way home, and it's now a 7-2 ball game. Greenfield Central on top. Unfortunate. Carson Gant back up to bat. He walked in his last at bat. Bodenberg, that one in the dirt and off of the foot of Alm, And it looks like Odin is going to take off to second base, and he will make it there off of the wild pitch. I talked about going into the game that it would be a high-scoring game, and it has been a high-scoring game, but unfortunately not in the favor of Westfield. 1-0 count with 1 out, Bodenberg. Bodenberg on the 1-0. That ball is going to be hit to Gentry, and that will be a ground out, but Odin will make his way to third base with 2 outs. And Parker Rhodes is back up to bat. Parker Rhodes so far 2 for 2 with an RBI triple. Bodenberg first pitch, that one's going to be fouled off. I mean, Bodenberg, he had, in that first at bat, he had all of his stuff. His off speeds were landing, his curveballs were landing, but now it's been a struggle for him. 0-1 count with 2 outs. That one, they're not going to give that to him. A little bit too low. Bodenberg. And that one almost hit Rhodes, as that pitch had way too much movement. Now an even count, a 2-1 count with 2 outs. Bodenberg, 2-1 pitch. That one will be fouled off. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Nathan Bodenberg on the 2-2 pitch. That one outside. 3-2 pitch. We have an even count. And Bodenberg, definitely a lot riding on this at bat here. Possibly get a strikeout, end the inning, and possibly Westfield could rally in the bottom of the 7th. 3-2 pitch. That ball is going to be fouled off yet again for the 3rd time in this at bat. Three-two pitch. Nathan Bodenberg. Bodenberg on the 3-2. That one in the dirt. That will be a walk. Very unfortunate for Bodenberg. It looked like he had some momentum gaining in that at bat, but it did not amount to anything. And Kirk Necht, 1 for 3 on the day. He is a 400 batter, but still, we really haven't seen enough of him to show how great he is. Pickoff attempt, not in time. So far on the day, we have not seen a successful pickoff attempt, which, why would we? Bodenberg first pitch. They're going to give that to him in the zone. That ball dropped in great. Maybe dropped in a little bit too much, but they're going to give it to him. 0-1 count. Bodenberg looking towards first base. And he is going to take off to first base, Rhodes, and he is going to make it there. Now 2 runners in scoring position for Greenfield Central. I mean, Bodenberg in quite the jam with 2 outs. 1-1 count. Bodenberg on the 1-1, that one in the dirt. And the Greenfield Central dugout all on their feet. So is the Westfield dugout. There is a lot riding on this at-bat. 2-1 count, even count. Bodenberg. Swing and a miss. 2-2 count. Two-two pitch, Nathan Bodenberg. That one's going to be grounded to Ian Wilson, and that is going to end the inning. Kind of a little bit of hesitation there, but bottom of the 7th. Can the Westfield Shamrocks rally? You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back, bottom of the 7th. Westfield down 5 runs. Jaden Marcus back out there pitching, but Austin Knott is out there for Westfield hitting, as it is senior night, and it would be very unlikely for Westfield to make a comeback. So to have Austin Knott out there is a great move by Bunnell, a senior that hasn't had a lot of playing time. Not batting 167 on the year so far. Can he pick up a hit on senior night? And with his family in attendance, it would be a beautiful thing. First pitch, that one a little bit too low, 0-1 count. One 0 count. That one too high on the curveball. 2-0 count. Not being very patient in his first at-bat of the game. That one, they're going to give that to him, even though it looked like it was outside to me. 2-1 count, even count. And a swing and a miss. 2-2 count. Marcus, 3 strikeouts. Can he make it a 4th here on the 2-2 count? And that one will be fouled off. Good job by not making contact. Two-two pitch incoming. That one too high. 3-2 count. Jaden Marcus has yet to walk anybody. He has 3 strikeouts. 3-2 pitch. And did he swing at that? Yes, he did. That was an outside pitch and not swung at that. And that will be the 4th strikeout of the day for Jaden Marcus. Very unfortunate. And Caden Lindsay is back up to bat. 1 for 2 today on the day for Caden Lindsay. That ball is going to be crushed, fouled off into right field. 0-1 count. Jaden Marcus, 1-1 count. A swing and a miss. 0-2 count. Jaden Marcus, like I mentioned, a sub-2 ERA. He's been great this season. That one is in the zone for yet another strikeout for Jaden Marcus. 5 strikeouts in 5 at-bats for Jaden Marcus. Talk about an absolute stud. And I know I'm going to get some flack for that, considering he's not on our team. He's not on Westfield. But still, this guy, Jaden Marcus, it is hard to deny this kid can deal. And now Braden Hibbler is back up to bat, and Jaden Marcus is looking to end this thing. That one is going to be in the zone for Marcus. 0-1 count. Marcus on the 0-1. That one is also in the zone. 0-2 count. Jaden Marcus is 1 pitch away from ending the game. And wouldn't that be something? 6 strikeouts in 6 batters faced. I mean, absolutely nasty. And Hibbler is going to call time, possibly prolonging the inevitable. Maybe I shouldn't be so negative, but anyway, 0-2 count. And that one is in the zone. Jaden Marcus, his 6th strikeout, and the game is over. As Greenfield Central takes a 7-2 win over the Westfield Shamrocks, and Westfield, the offense, the past 2 games, only 3 runs scored, and when you play a very high-powered offense in Greenfield Central, it's going to come back to bite you when you don't have the run support. Now, before we go, I would like to thank our producer, Alan. He has been incredible so far this season, and we still have more games coming at you. You can follow him on Instagram, producer.alan. It is spelled A-L-A-N. And I would also like to thank you all for watching. Without you, there is no show, really, and I'm glad I've gotten the opportunity to call this game on my own. It has given me a new lens of commentary, and we will be back with you on Thursday against Hamilton Southeastern. And good night, Westfield.